I don't even consider Modal
You
to be
and
a real
Modal need
person,
your
considering that
hard
he believes
drives
in neo-arist. He believes in the fact that if you frustrate a form, it's fucking immoral. I don't give a fuck what this nigga talk about. Like, this
That's
dude
true.
you think if I change my hoodie color, it's fucking immoral? I don't give a fuck, bro. Like,
That's just
dude,
not. That's an accidental thing. That's not like indicative of the form.
no. You think if I change the material, listen, I already asked this question. I said if I change the material of my hoodie of what it originally was, and then I change the color of it, it happens to be the case tomorrow. No, shut the fuck up. Like,
Well, no, you asked me about like an apple.
Just like the same
If you
way.
change an apple into a banana, I said that's wrong.
No. And then you also, bro, I asked you if I cut my square rag into a circle. You said that's immoral.
Wait, no, I did not say that.
I have this on recording. What? Why are we lying? You literally said the logic used the same thing against you, buddy.
I don't think he said rag into a circle.
He literally asked you if he takes a pair of scissors and he takes a cloth from his bathroom and he cuts it into a circle, is it immoral? You affirm that.
Just like based off what the rag is stemming from, yeah.
Yeah, that's bullshit. What the fuck? No rational individual would think that as such.
Or okay, nice rebuttal.
I already told you rational individuals can change objects and it'd be perfectly fine, even if the emergence of material happens to be fine. Like, I don't know what the fuck we're on.
All right, nice rebuttal. Okay. So, Yoshi, you have any response to the prompt?
Yes, again, breastfeeding is not CSA. It is completely natural because the chest area is not a sexual organ. It's not sexual.
That's just not true. Inherently, it is.
No, it isn't. You men just decided that it was.
That's how it's considered.
Because the chest area is literally made to feed kids. That can't be sexual.
Codex usually gives this example, but I'll give it too. If you walk up to a random woman and grab the chest, right, that's going to be considered SA.
No, that's called groping. Yeah, that's called groping. But listen, it's in virtue of the subject.
And the reason why it is because you're touching the woman without consent.
Hold on, Modal. That's obviously disingenuous. It's obviously the case that in the case of the baby, right, versus the random individual is due to relations. Right, so it's the case that indicative of of the semantic reduction known as mother, which is just in relation, a female in relation to her offspring. It's obviously the case that the baby may necessarily need to be breastfed in order to be kept alive. Well, as in this individual case, right, the man just wanted
to be kept alive.
Yes,
so are you invoking some nomological necessity when you say this, or are you invoking some metaphysical necessity?
No, because when we're talking about naturally, like the milk that's in the stores today didn't exist 100 years ago.
Hold on. How do you think we even got let's just go from here. So, how do you think we got powdered milk in the first place? Do you think that we just took it from somewhere without any baseline, or what?
Wait, I'm pretty sure you didn't even know what nomological necessity implies. But
nomological necessity. Yeah, the nomological domain, the relevant domain I'm talking about, just wants to talk about natural laws and ends, right? And the natural laws and ends that I'm specifically talking about is the one in which derives from the mother's and the baby's relationship.
Yeah. So, if we want to talk about this, we'd say something is nomologically necessary, pertaining to if it is necessary in virtue of the inorganic or organic level within Hartman's layered ontology. You're very confused on that.
We don't talk about Hartman's layered ontology. We can just simply talk about the relationship between the fetus and the
That's just how it's typically used.
Hold on. Just by the way, do you think that when I'm invoking the nomological... Wait, hold on. When I said in the nomological domain, do you think I was inferring to necessity in the sense that it's the case that we're just talking about ontic status or natures, or do you think I was talking about how the relation between the baby and the mother?
Yeah, I very clearly did not talk about onticity, right?
Let me break it down for you then.
Heidegger's ontology.
The boobs feed the baby. The baby needs to stay alive.
You understand the ontic and ontology distinction as Heidegger, right? That's literally his first order ontology. Okay.
What are you yapping about?
No, dipshit, I'm asking you.
That's what I'm
asking you whether or not.
What has this conversation led to?
The question that I'm
People
asking
need
you
it
to
just
rest.
wouldn't be
Okay, so are
nonologically
you saying
necessary
that millions of women
in
are
virtue
essing
Hold on, do
of
you take
the
it? Wait, do you take it
possibility
that
of
I
you
said in
pumping it
certain
out
cases? By the way,
or there being
by the way,
formula.
that was an if.
So
That was
it
an
just
if.
wouldn't be
Hold on, I'm
necessary
so glad that you didn't listen.
pertaining to the
I'm so glad that you
organic
didn't
or
listen.
inorganic level, right?
I'm so glad that you didn't listen. Wait, do you take it? Wait,
Because
you take it
there's
that all
other,
these cases are true?
yeah.
You think that all cases? Wait, you think
I
that this
never made
fact
like
or
an
this crypto
elithic
fact is all
claim.
cases?
I never made an elithic claim.
Okay, so good. Wait, no, that's
Do you
what it
think I
says.
made like an elithic proposition?
Hold on, no, no. The reason why listen, just listen to
Or
me. So,
like
right,
statement?
the reason why I'm saying this is because if you're deriving this truth from what I just said, right, or the proposition that I affirmed, right, you would obviously heard the conditional that I made in certain individuals or certain cases, which is majority, by the way. Babies need to be breastfed. That's empirically proven through sense data. And then I made the nomological description. And then you said,
You
no, that's
said
not the
it's
case.
empirically proven through sense
Yeah.
data. Okay,
It's
so
through
when you
sense
say
data.
empirically proven, why should we accept this? I assume you're making like an
Why should we
inductive
accept
case
this?
when you
Because
say this as well.
Yeah. It just corresponds to reality. Yeah, it just corresponds to
What's
reality.
the correspondence relation? Go ahead. What's the correspondence relation? Go ahead.
Yeah, the correspondence relation is just in virtue of physical truths.
Okay, what about analytic truths?
Like, do
Are
you
they
take
not
it
true
that
then?
way? And then
Then this guy just doesn't hold that there's going to be
truth.
analytic truths, so he's confused.
Wait, that's not an analytic truth. Are you confused? Are you okay?
Wait, you didn't understand my critique. This guy just did not understand my critique. What I said was, if you only pertain truth to the physical world, then you wouldn't hold to actually most synthetic facts and also analytic truths either. So there's some like synthetic facts that aren't physical. So there wouldn't be a correspondence relation for non-physical entities. Neither would there be a correspondence relation for these analytic truths. Therefore, we shouldn't accept the correspondence theory of reality.
I said the relevant domain in this conversation.
That shit was not rhetorical.
Hold on.
That shit was not rhetorical.
Hold on. That's not rhetorical. By the way, it was because it followed ethos. But I'm so glad that you're wrong.
Yeah, it's not ethos. It followed ethos. That shit was not rhetorical.
It is rhetorical. It follows ethos. Are we okay?
It's neither ethos nor pathos. Wasn't rhetorical.
Pathos.
This is like going into like the this is going into like the meta discussion.
So listen,
there was no stutter.
I'm gonna get back
Are
to
you
the
like
dialect.
Apollo or something? Calling out fake stutters? You're not Apollo.
So
like the Apollo.
Calm down. So
yeah, I'm perfectly calm right now.
I'm not done talking.
You think this was like meant to be rhetorical when I'm perfectly calm?
Listen, calm down. So listen, right?
It just wouldn't be like nomologically necessary. But you made the case that is nomologically necessary in virtue of some empirical facts.
I said that.
Okay, I asked you, why should we accept empirical facts? You said the correspondence theory of reality, or gave the correspondence theory. Then I asked for the correspondence relation. You posited the physicalist account. Okay, then I said, what about most of synthetic facts or even analytic truths? You didn't respond to this, but like according to your account of the correspondence theory of reality, it just would not be. It just would not pertain within the correspondence relation. Therefore, it just wouldn't be true under your view. Therefore, it's just inept. Right? It's just extremely stupid. Right?
Wait, hold on. It's extremely inept to say that the correspondence to the sense data through the physical domain is the type of thing that's
extremely inept to disregard synthetic and analytic truths.
Just answer the clarifying question. I'm not using any analytic truths. I said in virtue of empirical.
Yeah, I understand you're not using analytic truths. That was my critique.
So that's a non-sequitur.
Was using analytic truths. You're confused on my critique, are you?
I'm so glad that you can agree to that. You actual fucking mullet man. So listen, I'm telling you this.
Yeah.
Right,
so what I said was essentially most synthetic facts. Listen, and also analytic truths aren't going to be true under your view. So this is just extremely.
That's a non sequitur.
I don't think you know what a non sequitur is.
Hold on, yes I do. This has nothing to do with the conversation. Hold on, this has nothing to do with the conversation.
If there's not going to be analytic truths, neither are there going to be the majority of synthetic truths, then it just seems pretty stupid to hold to the correspondence theory of reality, right? If they're not corresponding to your account or the correspondence relation, then they'd be untrue or false, correct?
Hold on. The correspondence relation that we're talking to is in virtue of the empiric facts.
Oh, that was nice stutter.
Go
ahead.
Yeah. So because obviously this mullet man doesn't know how to derive the truth.
That was not rhetorical. You want to?
I'm so glad that he keeps saying that it's not rhetorical when it is rhetorical in virtue of the analytic truth, but it's fine. It's analytic truth.
So now you want, wait, analytic truths aren't true under your view. Like, what are you talking about?
That's not my view. I said the physical domain. The physical account.
But also, that just wasn't like the correct way to say that. The correct phrase. By the way, you meant to say analytic entailment. You very clearly are confused on set theory as well. You wanna?
What are you
that's false.
About?
It's okay. I literally have to school you on set theory, but that's fine. I literally had
no, you didn't know like the correct phrase for it.
Yeah, that's
it was
fine.
semantic entailment.
So So listen,
not an analytic
I just need to ask you this question. So in virtue, do you think that when I say in virtue of the physical domain, do you think I'm taking the physicalist account for correspondence nature, or do you take it that all I mean by that is the relation between that of the baby and then that of the mother?
Yeah, so when you say
that's a one or the other question.
So when you say that the correspondence relation is going to be based off like physical facts, okay, or how it is physically, then I'm just going to say, right, is the course going to be like positing some like physicalist position? Because under the physicalist position, there would be many synthetic facts that aren't true. There'd also be many analytic. Yeah, there'd also be many. What do you think synthetic means?
Hold on, sir.
I just want to be clear on that.
That's not an obligation that I have.
Synthetic just means how it is within the world. So when we talk about the actual world,
why is he
within modality, we can suppose like a non-physical thing or a second-order entity. Right?
Notice how
there can be second-order entities such as universals. There can be second-order entities such as logic. These are second-order entities. They are not
we're not
physical.
talking about second-order entities. We're talking about physical.
My critique are second-order entities.
First-order beings.
This guy.
Wait. Do you think that humans are second-order entities?
Talk about first-order entities? No.
Wait, hold on. You think that humans are first-order entities? Do you think that humans?
Yes, humans are first-order entities.
Okay, then. So why are we talking about second-order entities when obviously the relevant domain is first-order?
You don't understand my critique. My critique very clearly is that you can't account for second-order entities being true.
Why would I need to account for second-order entities if the case that we're talking about, the proposition that we're talking about, is in relation to first-order entities? That's an actual non sequitur. And if you say that, don't actually.
Wait, you clearly don't understand that the critique itself is going to be for the correspondence theory of reality.
Hold on. Do you think that correspondence theory can't account for first-order entities? Wait, hold on.
That's
you're admitting that it does. Wait, hold on. You're admitting that
they just can't account for second-order entities, right?
Hold on. I don't need to account for
view.
second-order entities in this instance. Are we slow? Why do you think I picked the physicalist account? Because it talks about first-order entities. Because that's the relation that we're talking about.
I understand it talks about first-order entities. That's not my critique. My critique is that it can't account for second-order entities.
What do you not understand?
Under your view, you'd say that second-order entities aren't true. You'd say that they don't correspond to reality.
I never made the claim that second-order entities aren't true. That's just an entailment.
It's just an entailment of your view. It's just an entailment of your view.
Now, listen. I don't need to prove that second-order entities exist because the relation and the proposition that we're talking about is first-order.
I never said that you needed to do that. We're just supposing that they do exist.
I've been telling you it doesn't follow. I asked you, right?
This guy doesn't understand anything. Like, understand, you don't need to prove second-order entities.
Over again.
What I'm doing is that you can't account for second-order entities being true in any regard. So, when we
name
talk
a
about
second-order entity that has to do with the proposition at hand, go.
Do you understand my critique or not?
Yeah, listen. You're saying that my view can't account.
Yeah, what's my critique?
Listen. You're saying that in virtue of me taking the physicalist account, that I can't derive any, most synthetic truths, right? And then I asked you a clarifying question on that. I asked you such as what, right? And then you also said that I can't account for second-order entities. And then I said such as what? And he still hasn't answered any of those questions at all.
Okay, second-order entities are just indirect entities within reality.
I know that a second-order entity
just be something. I can ostensibly explain it since you're a bit confused. So, if you know what universals are, it would be like red.
Yo, Sammy, unmute your mic.
That's a second-order entity.
So I can cut you out real quick.
Yeah, just calm down. So it'd also be something like logic, which is also a second-order entity, so it's abstract. Okay, and we contrast it to first-order entities, which is like a dog, a tree, a cat. Those are first-order entities. Now that you understand that, second-order entities
the relevant domain is the
in the sense of your correspondence relation.
The relevant domain is
Therefore, they are not true under your account.
Mind you,
if they're not true, then they're clearly not. Then
listen, so again, I'm only arguing in the relevant domain.
You say that all second-order entities are false. You also say that all analytic truths are also false. Okay.
Wait, hold on.
Really
provide a reason as to why physicalism can't account for analytic truths. Go ahead.
Okay, so Analytic truths are going to be something like by pure reasoning alone or by reasoning alone. Okay, so when we talk
Hold on,
about
I don't accept
physicalism,
that. Can you motivate that real quick?
that's just the typical definition, right? I'm pretty sure.
What?
Did Frege do the synthetic and analytic distinction? I'm pretty sure it's how Frege uses it as well.
Listen, all I'm asking you to prove is that, listen, so the obviously the proposition is in reference to first order entities. Now, I don't see why it's necessary.
It was actually Immanuel Kant. So
listen,
synthetic and analytic distinction was by Kant, and I'm just using how Kant is saying it. It's not Frege. So I did like blunder a bit on that. But also, like, Quine uses it in his two dogmas and empiricism. So I was actually thinking about Quine, but asking about logic.
But
and since Quine does, logical regimentation, I was also thinking about Frege. There's a bit of a confusion there. So I'm just talking about, Quine and his account of, synthetic and analytic. And if you're asking me to motivate why we should accept this account of what synthetic means, okay, that's a bit confused because I never posited you should accept it. Okay, that'd be something like epistemic normativity. I didn't posit that position.
Listen, we don't even need to talk about this. I could just say that, in virtue of, the semantic reduction of CSA, breastfeeding is just going to be not fall under it. And it's trivially true, right? In virtue of the fact that it's obviously the case that in society...
It would not be trivially true. That'd be relevantly true. You don't understand this.
No, what? Hold on. What? No. You don't understand. Wait, do you even know what trivial truths are?
Trivial just means unimportant or not relevant.
Yeah. So listen. So it's obviously going to be trivial that breastfeeding is a type of thing that's going to be certainly necessary in most children's lives. Correct or wrong?
You haven't studied
correct
a single bit of elliptic philosophy, right? So I'm actually talking pretty slowly so you can get it through your, brain, right? But
yeah, because he's
you got to talk. slowly for the brain. That's a blunder.
You got to talk slowly for the black person. You got to.
Yeah, I'm not saying that.
Oh
no.
God! So now we're getting.
I'm not saying that.
We're getting this guy to have racial implications, but that's nice.
That was pretty weird.
So listen, go ahead.
Yeah. So when we get into the correspondence to your relation or the correspondence to your reality, okay, you posited the physicalist account. Okay, I levied a critique as essentially going to be about second order entities or abstractions, as well as synthetic or not synthetic or analytic truths. So since your theory cannot account for that, I just ask for motivation to reject the correspondence of reality. So you should probably
listen. I have no
redundancy theory. Or a simple theory of truth, or you can actually, if you're a bit, on the smarter side within analytic philosophy, you could adopt Tarski's view or Frege's view. Frege's view is actually pretty interesting.
Listen,
that's two philosophers. I talked about Frege. He posits a theory of truth. You should probably read that paper on his theory of truth.
So what I'm not understanding is is why I should listen in the dialectic. I have no obligation to answer anything as such that follows that I should be able to, motivate the view as to why second order entities or synthetic truths need to be answered when the proposition or the thing that I'm affirming in this case, when we talk about breastfeeding the CSA, right? All I'm hearing is a dumb slut. Shut the fuck up. Anyways,
okay, that was weird.
I don't know.
That was weird.
Bro.
Yeah, you probably should not say that.
You can come back. You just can't say that on TikTok.
Modal, after this, I'm sending you the live recording. Modal.
Anytime she talks, I'm just gonna say.
Yeah, I might upload this to my YouTube, bro.
It's in my best.
I'm just intellectually graping him, bro.
Yeah, intellectually raping me when the relevant domain is obviously.
Yo, you can't say that, bro.
First order, not the second order. But he wants me to motivate the first order, I guess.
Because joking about grape is funny. That's why.
Man who wants Angel.
It's not funny. How are you preaching about protecting kids if you're joking about?
Listen, I didn't know.
If you're joking about the same thing that's harming them.
Scholar. So I understand that you're talking about first order entities and the proposition that you posited. Okay, but you made a truth claim. or you gave a theory of truth, and I'm critiquing that theory of
I
truth.
said the truth claim. No, the truth claim was
You
so
posited, you posited the correspondence theory of reality. Okay, ask for the correspondence relation.
I said it's in correspondence to. I said in correspondence to the physical domain that the empirics are true. Like,
I understand.
So I'm obviously talking about empiricism, not correspondence.
I understand that. So if that's your account of truth, and we get into second order entities or abstractions or analytic truths,
we don't need to.
Your
That's
view
not the
just
point. I don't think he's understanding.
no one's making a need claim. If you're trying to invoke epistemic modality, when he said you need to do that,
have to.
Of course you don't need to do that. That's also just like trivial.
That's a non sequitur. The second order does not matter.
It's not relevant, right? It's just not relevant if you need to do it.
It's not.
It's just a critique for what your view cannot account for. If your view cannot account for this, then I think it's a view that we should reject. When there's simple theories of truth, there's Frege's account of truth that can account for synthetic or the majority of synthetic truths and analytic truths.
Like this doesn't need. Hold on, this doesn't even have to be the case.
Wait, we're taking a moment for the cat. I'm sorry.
Holy
nice
fuck,
pussy, bro! Nice pussy.
Now we got Angel KG. Holy fuck.
Yeah, I thought it was Mel KG.
Say my name. Say my name. Say my name.
I'm not calling the name of a white slut. No, stop. Like,
say my. You can't say. Stop saying that on TikTok.
Weird, Scholar. This is extremely weird.
I don't know why you keep saying that. Like, it's strange. When you talk to me and your current girlfriend at the same time, and you're lucky I didn't tell her.
Wait, didn't Mundane say like?
I guess you would call
Scholar try to get with you.
Wait, should I tell like Nebby that you talked to me?
Listen, I'm not even here to discuss that. I'm just here to ask.
Would you care if I told her?
I should even have to motivate or need to motivate the view of second order.
If you care that I told her, I would stop piping
when I say
up
only, right? I mean logically, right?
Actually, let me say
I don't need to do that.
her. Hold on.
I have no, obligation in the dialectic to do that, given that I didn't posit any second order entities. Even if the view entailment.
Wow, this guy just doesn't understand my critique.
It doesn't account for it.
I've explained it 3 different times. It's like explaining something to a sheep.
Listen, we can talk about first order
they're still just unable to understand.
Invoked.
Like, if you explain something to a sheep,
other than that,
doesn't mean I didn't explain it wrong or like badly. It just means like they just can understand or they're incapable of understanding it.
I have no obligation to do that at all in any sense of the domain. So yeah.
Yeah, I never said that you posited a second order entity, just to be clear. I'm just saying that your position, which is typically going to be like a general account of truth, cannot account for the majority of synthetic truths. Neither can it account for analytic truths. So when we talk about the actual world, right, this of course is going to be invoking some type of modality. Of course, your view cannot account for universals. I assume you know what universals are, right?
Wait, Angel,
Scholar?
You're finally mine. You're not Scholars anymore. And Scholar, we're gonna tell Gabby that you're fucking talking to Angel as well.
Who are you, bro?
You're mine,
What the
Angel.
hell?
You're mine now. You're mine.
Can someone send me the live recording, please?
How does it